I don't know if you've been following on Monday. So today's Friday. This week, Monday, there was an incident in a place called Stockport in the UK. Just for our foreign audience, there was a 17-year-old boy who went on a rampage and killed three young kids in a girls' dance club. I think it was five-year-old, 7-year-old, and 9-year-old. It was awful. Have you been following that?
Yes, I have. I mean, I'm a social worker, as you know, but just as a human level, it was absolutely horrifying and
Horrible.
so saddening to see that this had happened. And as the news was unraveling, it was like such a shock. And then you suddenly saw these riots, and I think one of my relatives, she contacted me. She said, "Oh, was it a Muslim that did it?" And I'm like, "I've got no idea." So then suddenly you've got this kind of, several stories happening at the same time.
Yes.
You have, unfortunately, these children that have been killed, tiny children who've just gone for a
Yeah,
class.
awful. Yeah,
How absolutely horrific for their families. I
I
can't
can't
imagine
imagine. Yeah.
how horrible it must be. And then, and also for this boy, he's 6 days away from being 18. So
Wow.
the judge decided to basically reveal his name. He's actually a
Yes.
Christian boy. He's Christian. He's born and raised in this country. His parents are from Rwanda. So he's a British young black man. So there's part of me thinking, why would he do something like that? What's happened to him
What's driven him to do this?
to
Yes.
do something like that? And then, of course, there's been this far right. Um, it's been going on for a long time, but I believe that the Conservative Party, some of the MPs.
Exactly. Exactly. I was wondering if you
Yes, I do.
would
I
have the same
do.
thoughts. Yes.
My look. The thing is, you can be brown, and you can be even somebody of our own faith, but you're going to be completely against us. So
Yeah.
unfortunately, people like starting from Priti Patel to
Yeah.
Suella Braverman, they just absolutely have no concern about the Muslim community.
No.
And I think that if they were there in those riots, I don't think anyone's going to turn around and say, "Oh, you're not Muslim." Even Rishi Sunak, his children were called a particular word. I
Exactly.
forgot to say and he was devastated. Why are you devastated? People like us who are born and raised here have been used to this for decades.
Yeah.
Yeah. So the thing is, there are a number of stories here. Of course, there's a tragedy of the children. There's a tragedy also of this boy. What's
Hmm.
he's done. Why did he
Family.
do
Yeah.
it? Who's failed him, whether it's his parents, society,
Yeah.
etc. And then you have this far right narrative that's come about because of a consequence of political ideology that has now, I mean, Tafim, you have a beard, okay? And most men now have beards, irrespective of you being a Muslim or not. As
Yeah.
a woman, I'm a hijabi, or those
Hmm.
who wear hijab, we are the ones who are usually.
Definitely. I'm constantly thinking about the pressures that, as a Muslim females in
Yeah,
this country have to
we're
go
the ones
through
who will
constantly.
be visibly seen,
Yeah.
and may Allah protect all our sisters
Um,
and all our families. But the thing is that we're the ones who get sometimes the brunt of
of
things.
course.
Just a few weeks ago, there's a new line called the Elizabeth line in the UK. A white man came over. He said he was part of was it IDF or something, and
Mhm.
he pulled this woman's hijab off and started abusing her, swearing at her, and this was captured. So,
It's
people,
becoming norm, these things. Yeah.
yeah,
Um,
people have accepted it, and it's not acceptable. It's not acceptable.
no. So just for our foreign listeners, so basically this incident happened on Monday, and I think very quickly by Tuesday or Wednesday, rumors started spreading, completely false rumors that the individual at that time no one knew who he actually is, and rumors started spreading that he was an asylum seeker, an illegal refugee,
Yeah,
someone with a Muslim name, and all of these kind of things. And as a result, I think this happened on Monday, and I think was it Tuesday or Wednesday. Protests turned into riots outside a mosque, local mosque. Far right thugs, they started throwing bricks at the mosque. starting breaking things on the street. What happened to the mosque is one thing. I'm just thinking, what would the community be thinking? What the hell? Like our neighbor has been turned into a battlefield.
Yeah, no, no, absolutely. I think the thing is, one of the things that I believe is, as a Muslim community, we're always prepared. I think it's in part of our DNA that, are we really part of this fabric of society, or, so,
Mhm.
so again, because of this propaganda, they believed he was a refugee. He'd come on the boat, so they were slanting things like "go back home," go
Yes,
back on your boat," terrorist, this, that, the other. They assumed, because actually it was reported that a Russian newspaper, um, or some news outlet had said he's a refugee Muslim, and so therefore,
is that where it started from?
yes, that's where it started from. So they basically then, of course, went and targeted this masjid. Now, I don't know how big the masjid is. The thing is, we've got hundreds, if not thousands, of masjids in the UK,
Yeah,
and some of them, like Al Manar, is one of the what we call one of the large eight. Yes, but
yeah,
other ones are quite small. They may not have the
yes,
capacity. They may just do the salah and that's all, or
yeah,
tarawih, and that would be it,
yeah.
and maybe a few classes. So it was absolutely horrific. I've also seen the news, and there are some positive things from this, in the sense of that the local community, non-Muslim, have come together, repaired the wall, repaired the
Mm,
damage, cleaned up the damage. There will be dialogue, I'm sure. Um,
yeah, I'm sure it will make the community even stronger going forward, inshallah, the local community. But the far right, something needs to be done. Like, I don't know. So everything, all the news, everything was false. Like, the kid was born in the UK. He was not a foreigner. He didn't come from abroad. He was not a Muslim. He was actually a Christian, and it shouldn't even matter. I was reading. I was actually saw a because people were protesting more because it was apparently the person who committed these things was a Muslim. So somehow it became a bigger thing. And I saw a video by GB News saying, "Why don't the police just say what his religion was to calm things down?" And I was thinking, but why do we have to go down that route? Why do we have to explain every time something happens, was this a Muslim or was it not a Muslim? And if it was a Muslim, we'll treat it this way. And if it wasn't, we'll just carry on.
we have to then, Tafim, realize that there is Islamophobia.
Yeah.
That is a real thing. And whether that's happened post 9/11, post 7/7, all of the events. So we have been marginalized. There is a huge amount of racism.
Yeah.
And so people begin to, I mean, the first thing I think of if there's any attack is, oh my God, was he a Muslim? Or,
Yeah.
people think
Your
that.
heart sinks. Yeah.
Heart sick. And you're thinking, oh my gosh, is it? What's happening? And then, because they treat everything like a terrorism related act now.
Yeah. I don't know what your thoughts are. I don't know. I don't want to make this like a political statement about Brexit, but I feel things have got a lot worse since Brexit because a lot of these sentiments were probably like inside people's heads or minds somewhere, but they weren't being expressed. But Brexit kind of just opened things up. You could just say whatever you want now, and
I think, I think,
it's acceptable.
yeah, I think it exacerbated it, but I
Yeah.
think it's been there for a long time. And because
Yes.
of the work that I've done, I do a lot of interfaith work. I used to work with, I've worked with government at high levels when anything like this has happened, right from Lee Rigby, when the soldier was killed. All of
Hmm.
those things, I've been involved in
Yes.
several kind of, Cobra meeting type things. And what we have to realize is there's always been an underlying racism. There
Yeah.
always has. I mean, think about it. First of all, it was to do with our culture, the color of our skin, and then it was about Islam and Muslims and that narrative.
Yeah.
And we have to, one of the things is we have to also counteract it.
Yeah.
We as a community, not I'm saying we have to say, oh, we didn't do it, but the thing is we have to integrate more with the community. We have to be in positions of power and influence. And the government also has realized, I think, after this incident and the Manchester one, there was a small
Yes.
incident for those people who won't know that
Yeah.
the police attacked some men, but we have to still, the news is still unfolding.
Yeah, I think
Um,
100 police officers were injured.
yes, but the thing is, then you see the other side when the people started off. They were the ones, the passengers started the fight, but the
Is
police
that
finished.
this Monday thing? Is this or
Yeah, it's all. I mean,
yeah?
this week has been very Muslim focused in the news. But I think the government, the new government, has realised that they must do something about this. So, for example, there was a demonstration with the far right leader Tommy Robinson. So he's
Yes,
been arrested for terrorism charges, which is good. Which is
and
good.
he's escaped the country, hasn't he?
Well, I mean, that's what happens. But the issue is that, inshallah, look, I always try and be hopeful that we have overcome so many things, and Allah is with us. We're Muslims, um,
Inshallah.
and inshallah that we do our bit. We have to try.
Yeah, I think you're right, and we also always must um, uh, try and, as much as we can, improve things for ourselves, for our neighbors, for our community. But also, these things are a test for us, and Muslims have been tested with these kind of things, but a lot worse things since the beginning of Islam. And these things are maybe what life is all about. So, is how we react to.
National test for us, and then we have international tests.
Yeah,
There's just so much. This is dunya.
yeah,
We tend to forget and believe that somehow we can create it into a Jannah. It never will.
exactly, exactly.